So, do you remember the Atari VCS? Because I kind of forgot about it. Now, I have one ordered. It's supposed to be coming to my door. Well, it was supposed to be coming to my door in July. It has not. They delayed it. It's supposed to be coming March now. However, more and more information keeps coming out about this. Well, more information, but technically not information from Atari themselves or the team behind the Atari VCS. It's not looking very good. It's actually been getting worse and worse and worse. So much so now that the entire Reddit has turned, like the subreddit for the Atari VCS has turned on the Atari VCS. And they went off and made their own Reddit subreddit, and now that has turned on them. It's some wild stuff right now. But there is some very troubling stuff going on as well. The Register wrote up an entire article putting everything together, right? And if you remember, I believe this was the same site that had that bit of a scuffle with them when it came to interviewing them and asking them some questions like what happens when you plug the thing into a computer. And remember, we had Atari VCS and their team pretty much push back on them, saying that they were like liars, and then they released the entire recording, and it was as Register said it was, where people at Atari VCS seemed confused and unsure about their own product that they were trying to eventually sell, and they collected millions of dollars through Indiegogo, and we really still don't have anything that works that we've seen anyway. We've seen them show screens of things that are going on, but never just like, hey, here's the system, let's take a look at it, let's turn it on, let's plug in the controller, like you would have with a system that exists. So let's take a look at this article. I also wanted to look a bit at the subreddit because it's pretty telling what's happening at this time. And then I want to talk about another piece that could be massive and, to be honest, could spell the end of the Atari VCS completely if it's kind of what I think it is right now. But before you finish up on this video, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out to help out. I'm sure Atari will enjoy this video quite a bit, and I'm sure they're having fun with this article in their subreddit right now because it is something else. Now, I will say up front, of course, I've spent hundreds of dollars on this thing for the channel, so I'm frustrated myself to read about this, but we'll go through it and we'll see what we have here, okay? It's titled Time to Check In. Again, on the Atari Retro Console, dear God, it's actually got worse. So I'm going to skip down. This part here kind of just outlines some of the stuff that's happening on the subreddit, but I wanted to skip down here to the part called User Rebellion. I will leave a link to this article down below in the description, so you can go check it out yourself. It says, as the end of summer approached, which is now, one frustrated customer took to the Atari VCS subreddit to outline the updates that Atari has provided on all its social media channels since its July post. It didn't make for happy reading, and the author summarized his findings at the bottom. These are things I've seen myself too, because they will email stuff to you, and they've talked about these in posts, I believe on Medium even at times. It is a weird situation when they start advertising other products to you. But check this out. References to other people's work or achievements, 12. And this is all taking place, as they say, scorecard since shutting down backer updates on Indiegogo. Think about that. They shut down backer updates on Indiegogo. That's pretty, yeah, okay. Direct Facebook appeals to pre-order or buy something, 11. That's exclusive of other social media. Pictures or renders of non-functional plastic boxes, at least 18 of them, and then concrete indicators product is being manufactured, 0. Yes, we've seen plenty of renders of boxes and even the outside of them and how they're going to change the plastic on the outside so it's easier to manufacture and everything. And we haven't seen anything about the system itself actually functioning, working physically. It's just been render after render after render. And it's not been great. So how does Atari respond? As they say, they deleted the post. Yeah. So this is around the time where Atari started going kind of crazy on their subreddit, basically deleting all types of criticism or anything that they deem as harsh, when really that's technically information that's been observed, gathered, and put in front of them in one spot. I think that's kind of how Atari is hoping this works out, or the Atari VCS team, is that the information is so scattered, it doesn't look as bad as when you put it all together. Because when you start doing things like that, where you count everything up, it looks pretty bad. And the fact that they're going around pretty much just blowing up their subreddit, right? That's not a good look to have all of these things get deleted. Keep in mind though, the Atari VCS team has had run-ins with all types of people. They've had run-ins with journalists at this website. Remember, they mentioned Sean RGT85 as fake news when Sean was talking about the Atari VCS. So it has not been good. But check this out. This is where things get a bit interesting, and unfortunately, it could be the nail in the coffin for the Atari VCS, depending on how this works out here. They say, if you think it couldn't get any worse, well, then you don't know Atari. Because earlier this month, when one of the last remaining threads of its credibility came under question when the architect of its new console, the system architect for the original Xbox and designer of PlayStation 3 graphics systems, Rob Wyatt, was named the co-founder and CTO of a new game board startup. Their system architect is apparently going to be going to do another startup on Kickstarter next month, October 10th. It's called the Game Board 1. I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like, Game Board 1. It's a digital slate for your tabletop board games. So it's apparently like a tablet that goes on the table and it turns into, well, a game board. That's the idea. It's going into Kickstarter funding October 10th with a target cost of $350. Shouldn't he be working on the Atari VCS? That's kind of what it comes down to. It says, why is he working on another project if you're compensating him here and you have him locked up to work on the Atari VCS that's raised millions, by the way? No shots at the game board. I don't think the game board's going to raise as much as the Atari VCS did. Is that going to raise, millions and millions of dollars? Probably not. I mean, I'd have to look into it more to see if it's a good idea or not, because I just, we glanced at it here, but it doesn't have the Atari name on it. It's not promising to be basically another game console. I don't know why Rob Wyatt would be on another project. So, do you know what people did? They asked them. Of course, they said, is Rob Wyatt still with Atari? On the old subreddit, I heard that Rob Wyatt has left the Atari VCS project to start his own project. Is this true? So, Atari responded saying, hello, unfortunately, this rumor is circulating on the web. Rob Wyatt and Tin Giant. Okay, sure. Tin Giant work on many different projects. Atari fans should be excited for the Game Board 2. So, he hasn't, I guess, so Atari's, I guess, saying it's a rumor. He hasn't left Atari, but you would just say, no, he has not left Atari. He's still working on the Atari VCS. That's what you say to swat that down right away, right? You just say, oh no, he's still working on the Atari VCS. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing, no issues here. Instead, they just say they should be excited for the Game Board 2, which kind of goes back to them advertising stuff in front of the Atari VCS crowd again. Like we talked about that before. They advertise a lot of products. There have been like shirts, hats, arcade machines, contests. They've done a lot through email marketing. It's very interesting. And it does you start looking back at it now, and it's kind of all adding up, right? So here we are now onto the game board, which is okay. I don't know why Rob Wyatt would be named co-founder and CTO of a new game board startup when he's supposed to be the lead system architect for the Atari VCS. Why would he be doing that? Anyway, going down from there, we have a quick summary. Atari has missed every single deadline has ever set around the VCS console. This is correct. It hasn't provided any updates for months despite repeat promises to do so. There's still no evidence there is even a working prototype. The only man on the team with actual experience with building a games console is now the co-founder of another startup, and Atari was booted off its own subreddit for deleting posts and comments it did not like, starting their own Reddit. So let's take a look at these subreddits. This is the first one here. This is the Atari VCS subreddit that I remember that I would look at from time to time, and it has turned from I would say the years now, from positive to we lost our money. That's pretty much what it's turned into. It's kind of a shame too, because I'm sure there are some people who spent quite a bit of money on this thing, right? Like there are people who probably spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars just for fun to see, the Atari VCS. They want to be part of it. They thought it'd be neat to have Atari back in the market, and this happened. So you can see some of the posts, absolute trash, saying they even hate to be negative. Possibly worse than the Ouya. So I don't know if it'll be worse than the Ouya. No, it would be worse. I'm sorry. I don't know how it couldn't be worse than the Ouya. Even if it came out, the Ouya at least still had a pretty good following. At this point in time, I think if the Atari VCS comes out, I don't think it's going to live up to what they even said it would be. Remember, they were talking AMD Ryzen at this point and everything, and I even had questions about, can they really do AMD Ryzen for the price that they are talking about? I don't see it. And that's kind of something that keeps coming up to me. Because remember, they were selling these things for like $200 for early bird special. You're losing money on that. Like with Ryzen chipset and everything, I don't see how that's possible. Atari deletes their, here we go. So this says Atari deletes their Reddit comments a week before the end of summer. Rob Wyatt is now working on a different project. See, this is something that really took hold on this subreddit, obviously, which was inspiration for that article to be written and everything as well. The Atari's promised updates before the end of the summer, and they've now deleted all mentions of that. And this week they deleted their auto-posted "Are you ready for an update?" post on Facebook in less than an hour. So on Facebook, it would auto-post at times, "Are you ready for an update?" But they came in less than an hour later and deleted that thing, just got it out of there. Something is going on behind the scenes for Atari right now with this Atari VCS, and they don't want to say anything. Mostly because I think they don't know what to say. Because if they have lost their system architect, that's a problem. To the point where this just might not come out, like, at all. Like, I know it's been a meme, but like, we're to that point now where this legitimately just might not happen. And that's not going to be good for Atari in general, right? Because I know Atari, like, the licensing stuff, it's all over the place, but it's still, Atari's name is on it. It says Atari VCS. I believe that their Twitter has also not done much either, so it just doesn't look good all the way around. And when I look down here, it's just a lot of questions asking what this thing is going to do. Is there gameplay footage? Will there be a web browser? Any rumors? People are looking for just rumors. Where's the games? Okay, so here's the new one. It looks like things are going well with the first post. Very good. Mad Little Pixel made a video on it. That's funny. I wonder if he put money in for it too. I bet you he did, just like I did. Oh man. I'm looking to announce my own retro style game console. So people wasted no time to go over to Atari VCS's official subreddit and troll and push back there as well. Even asking any comment on the recent Register article. This has been up for 14 hours, by the way. So I wonder if they are just not paying attention to the subreddit either. Like, it's very odd. Atari VCS is a failure, and Atari has been lying to our faces. That was only 2 hours ago, though. So I don't think... Yeah, there's Mad Little Pixel. I guess check out that video, too, while you're at it. They're not going to like a lot of YouTubers and stuff covering this, because we've seen them have their run-ins with YouTubers already. So I would make sure you go leave comments on any of the YouTube videos you see for the Atari VCS, just to help them out in the algorithm and everything. I'm looking forward to announce my own. Hey, I mean, why? You know what? Apparently anyone can do it, because I just don't think this just isn't going to come out. It's so sad to see. What would have to happen here if Atari is going through and watching these YouTube videos, because we know they have before. If they do watch some of these videos, they have to have something ready. They have to have a prototype working straight up, like full on video, uncut, like, okay, here's the box, here's the TV, here's us playing it with a controller. No like weird funny business with renderings or cuts or anything. It has to be like the straight up prototype. We're ready to go. It's ready to roll, because they're going to push this thing back. And as soon as they delay it again for March 2020, that's when it's a real problem. That's 6 months out. At this time, you should have your design locked in. You should have your board, your specs, everything should be locked in, and you should be working out like bugs in the operating system and figuring out where you're going to be manufacturing this thing out of, like factories or whatnot, getting that all locked down with deals. We shouldn't still be hearing about motherboards or specs or anything. And they've done some stuff, I think, now to try to calm the storm a bit by doubling the RAM, which sounded great, for free even. Oh, that's great. But you can continuously double the RAM or add a new chip or raise the frequency if you never really intend to do much with it, or if you keep running into speed bumps in the background and you just keep making new promises to buy more time. That's the issue. I have a strong belief that Rob Wyatt is on this game board because he's just not on the Atari VCS anymore. And an easy way to call him that, Atari, is just tell us he's still working on the Atari VCS. So I'll leave it there. It's a shame to see what has happened now with this product, this Kickstarter, or this Indiegogo, not a Kickstarter, Indiegogo. You need a prototype for Kickstarter. They weren't even allowed on there. Think about that. So it's a shame to see where this has come to after couple years now, year or so, where we've been talking about this, because it sounded so promising when they first started, and now it looks like it's probably just going to end up being a broken promise to their backers. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Make sure to check this article out. It's very well done and put all together, and the Register did a very good job collecting all the information. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.